I can't believe Chelsea are trying to re-sign Joao Felix. As if the first spell wasn't bad enough. Manchester City apparently have some sort of update surrounding their 115 charges, and there's a bunch of stuff to concern ourselves about where transfer business is concerned. Welcome back, people. People deluded, as you lot know me on my main channel, DG Sports View Settings. Make sure you're subscribing, you're smashing the like button. Creative juices are beginning to flow. Now, if you give me 30 seconds, I'll share my screen and we'll get straight up into this, people. It's boiling hot in the United Kingdom, people. Not near as much as Chelsea's transfer news is concerned. Now, Chelsea fans are probably the most bored fans when it comes to transfer news. They could sign a prime Neymar, a prime Suarez, a prime Ronaldinho and Messi, and I don't think their fans would be excited because every day, in fact, every probably second a minute, there's some sort of signing. You know, they've probably got more signings than sense. Lord knows how many players are actually contracted to the club, people. Chelsea are in talks to re-sign Joao Felix or sign Joao Felix from Atletico Madrid. Some of you would have seen, as it says there, Conor Gallagher, who spare a thought for him, you know, shunned from his boyhood club, made clear that he needs to move on, clearly believed he signed for Atletico Madrid, taking pictures at the stadium, and there's been a bit of a mix-up where Conor Gallagher is concerned and also Samu Omoradion. Now, you'd imagine there's some conclusion drawn to that at the time when the time comes, people. Allegedly, Chelsea have begun talks with Atletico Madrid regarding the possibility of signing Portugal forward Joao Felix. The two clubs have been in close contact in recent weeks. The Premier League club's inquiry for Felix comes after Amaro Dion's proposed move to Stamford Bridge collapsed on Sunday evening. Gallagher is still expected to join the Madrid club in the coming days after agreeing a transfer. As we know, Felix scored 4 goals in 16 appearances across a 6-month spell there, people. And, you know, I wonder what that means. You know, you got Pedro Neto, potentially Joao Felix, the boys from Portugal, Raheem Sterling, Mudryk, Madueke, you know, Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo. I think the manager is spoiled for options, and Chelsea surely need to move players on, not that they haven't already. Aston Villa apparently were on the case where Joao Felix was concerned. Atletico Madrid probably don't care where he goes. It didn't seem like Barcelona have the finances to sign him on a permanent basis. And with Nico Williams' emergence and them signing Almo from Leipzig, it seems like they've got other priorities. So we'll have to see where that story takes us, people. Once again, we've just gone over Conor Gallagher and the Atletico Madrid striker. Moving away from that, Liverpool are continuing to work on a move for Zubamendi from Sociedad. It comes down to paying his release clause. Ornstein has said they're continuing to work for him. Crucially, Zubamendi has yet to make a final decision. While an agreement would need to be reached between the two clubs, he'd be a great number 6 for a possession-based style of football that Arne Slot, I want to say, is inserting at Liverpool, but based on pre-season is inserting at Liverpool, which is very different from Jurgen Klopp's. Of course, there's going to be intangibles. As we know, Tottenham have completed the signing of Dominic Solanke. Hopefully that means Bournemouth go in for Eddie Nketiah, especially after Eddie Nketiah's move to Marseille has been, you know, has turned down. And I don't think Edu and Arsenal can win, because one minute we get pennies, as we probably did for the young Brook Norton Coffee. We try and get good asking prices and we're asking too much. Now, clearly, we probably took the game of charades a bit too far, and I don't know where we're going to go with Eddie Nketiah. I wonder if there is a degree, I think there's a degree of interest from British clubs in Eddie Nketiah, whether they're prepared to meet Arsenal's asking price and make a bid. Fair enough. As much as I want Bournemouth to sign Eddie Nketiah to replace Dominic Solanke, who ironically both spent time in Chelsea's academy. If you're Bournemouth, can you bet on Eddie Nketiah being the guy to make a difference? They've also been linked with Porto's Elva Nilsson. Now, I'd love them to sign both, but then Eddie Nketiah would be second fiddle. But yeah, Spurs have completed that signing. Manchester United have reached an agreement over Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich and also Mazraoui. Brentford have officially confirmed the signing after agreeing a deal for Fabio Carvalho, I believe for 20-odd million with a lot of add-ons, which is great money based on his loan spell at Hull. I've always said, look at his hair. He's got a great barnet, but a man with a perm is not going to make it in Scousland at Liverpool. It was never going to happen, was it, people? Trevor Chalobah of Chelsea's been told to train away from the first team. Spare a thought for Crystal Palace. You've lost Elise, could potentially lose Gurhi. Again, Eze is someone that City and Arsenal and Liverpool have all been linked with. Whether people buy him is another thing, but their new managers basically got the job and the squad's been teared up. Fulham allegedly have made an offer for Jochin Anderson, people, which he'd be a good signing. I think he's one of the more underrated centre-halves, people. And it feels like, well, it says it here. It felt like he's been at Fulham before. Great signing. Marco Silva to go with Emil Smith Rowe. It seems like Fulham are making signings. As we know, across the course of the weekend, Chelsea confirmed the signing of Pedro Neto. West Ham looks set to sign Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and some updated reports say he's actually had a medical with the Hammers people. So we'll have to see. Spurs fans are probably happy, not after, not least of signing Solanke. It looks like AC Milan have agreed a deal for Tottenham Hotspur's Emerson Royal, and that will probably be confirmed by the time this video's come out for you lot. Spare a thought for Reece James. Now, Reece James and injury in the same sentence is synonymous with his career. I think he's a quality player. There's a reason he's Chelsea captain, but he's being robbed of his career via injuries. And if he has another injury hit campaign, one wonders how long Chelsea are actually going to persist with him before either they move him on or his role at the team is significantly reduced, people. It's been described as relatively minor. He was forced off after 70 minutes, people, against Real Madrid. So hope for his sake, he's all right in that regard. Once again, we've gone over Trevor Chalobah. I mean, Ivan Ferguson's been linked with Chelsea, who they ironically need a number 9, an out-and-out striker. He was a boyhood Manchester United fan, has been linked with them. And Arsenal have been credited with an interest. Now, for me, if Ferguson really has a 50 million asking price, the 19-year-old, for me, Arsenal should sign him because, A, he could be a rotationary option. He basically does that at Brighton anyways. It was a tough 23-24 campaign off the back of a blistering previous season. As you would imagine, there's fluctuation in consistency and prolonged performance in a 19-year-old, people. As I said, apparently Bournemouth are now strongly interested in Eddie Nketiah as a potential replacement for Solanke, among other options. It could be good. The Spanish manager Bournemouth got play good football. Manchester United clearly need a centre-half because they're going to get De Ligt, but they've rejected the opportunity to sign Mario Hermoso on a free transfer, people. Barcelona, speaking of free transfers, taking a leaf out of Real Madrid's book. Apparently they're interested in Trent Alexander-Arnold on a free transfer from Liverpool next season. Now, he can do what he wants. He's linked with Real Madrid. If he is to leave Liverpool, I don't know him. He could do. I think, he's going to wait out his contract, try to get the best deal and sign a new deal at Liverpool. And if he is to be moved on, get a fee. I don't think, considering what he is to Liverpool, what he's done for Liverpool, being a Liverpool fan, he wants to leave the cowardly way on a free transfer. Of course, if they can't agree a new deal, then you're in issues in that regard. Trent would be great for Barcelona, but I can't see that happening. Apparently, Ansu Fati is not in the plans of Barcelona. He's expected to leave the club. I'm sure many of us have forgotten he actually had a loan spell at Brighton. It's a shame because he is a good player. Injuries have robbed him. He was once heralded as the golden boy. Ironically, what you see Yalmao doing, and he'll probably lose his shirt next season. I think he's got the number 10. Apparently, Chelsea's priority is now Osimhen after the initial deal for Amara fell through. Chelsea have almost been, exclusively linked with Osimhen, as well as Arsenal and PSG. I personally have Chelsea as the favourites if they want to get the move done. I've covered this on the main channel, but Arsenal apparently are plotting a season-long loan for Kingsley Coleman. I mean, injuries are the only thing you could say about Coleman, but he's only been at elite clubs. He's won a lot of stuff. He would give us a great option on the left-hand side to go with Bukayo Saka, but would he be fit for at least 30 of the 38 Premier League games? I don't know. Mikel Merino, where Arsenal's concerned, apparently we're confident of completing the deal to sign Mikel Merino despite Zuma Brandy's likely move to Liverpool. Now, spare a thought for Sociedad, because they could lose 2 of their star men. You would have seen over the weekend, Manchester United lost the Community Shield, but apparently Bruno Fernandes, their captain, has agreed a new 4-year contract. We've gone over the Crystal Palace to Fulham stuff. Apparently Fulham's opening bid is described as nowhere near. Aston Villa are looking at Trevor Chalobah. I mean, you would be playing Champions League under Unai Emery, and based on the exploits of Chelsea and Aston Villa last season going into this year, at least for a year at least, it is, you failed upwards. We've gone over the Kingsley Coleman stuff already. See how I don't try and miss anything for you lot, people. Let's see what the Athletic are saying here in relation to transfers as well. Let's scroll all the way down, if I'm completely honest, and see what they've got for us. Oh, scrolling all the way down. Tadibos obviously joined West Ham from Nice. Vinicius, as expected, rejected a lucrative proposal from Saudi Arabia. Arsenal are looking at a young player. Apparently, he was on trial. Apparently, St. Johnstone youngster Callan Hamill has turned down Celtic and Rangers with a move to Arsenal next summer. The Scotland youth defender has travelled down to train with Arsenal's under-18s group twice and also competed in an international tournament last month. Fair enough, man. Apparently, he's eligible to move to England once he turns 16 next year. So, yeah, and it's understood he'll continue to make approved visits to Arsenal's academy over the next year before making an official transfer. St. Johnstone stand to receive 38,000 euros, people, which would be great for us because if you could turn that 38 euros into 38 million long term or 10 million, is quite the profit, really and truly. And obviously, with Brexit, Scotland, Ireland, these kind of countries are more lucrative because you can't exactly sign the 16-year-olds like the early 2000s, from Holland, from Spain, from Portugal, etc., 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 which could be described as a gift and a curse. Where Manchester City are concerned and their 115 charges or breaches of Premier League rules, apparently their trial is set to start next month. The outcome will be known in early 2025. Me personally, I think they're going to beat those charges. You've got all the money in the world for transfers to pay Pep Guardiola to do several rebuilds and get City, definitely in my 29 years, what they was in the early 2000s to what they are now to that point. Why would you not throw money at the best lawyers possible that can study this case and give you the best defense to combat the offense that I'm sure a lot of Premier League fans and people in high-ranking positions in footballing clubs would want? But then you look at the Premier League, and I asked this question to you lot, and let me know in the comments. If City do get these charges, would the Premier League, like the actual Premier League, which is the brand, would they want that to happen to City? Because you're damaging the brand and the entertainment prospect. I know City have turned this into a farmers league. They've won 4 in a row. They probably have a good chance of winning 5th. Hopefully, we can do it. But if the worst case came to scenario at City and there was points deductions and it makes them less competitive, surely that damages the league. You could argue it makes it better because someone else will get a chance. But let me know your thoughts on that, people. We spoke about Mikel, Merino and Zubamendi. Apparently, Sociedad are leading the race to sign Carlos Soler from PSG, who ironically is Spanish. And you'd imagine he would be a replacement for either Mikel Merino or Zubamendi, or just be another addition, people, or somewhat soften the blow. Apparently, Arsenal are open to offers for Tomiyasu. Now, the man just signed a new deal. When fit, he'll be part of this season. I do believe if the injuries persist, though, in the next 18 months or 2 years, he might be someone that's moved on because he's good in the system, he's versatile, he's adaptable, he's probably our best 1v1 defender at that aspect, or one of those. Unfortunately, this is irrelevant if you can't stay fit, going back to Reece James. And I think had Tomiyasu not had injury problems, he would have probably signed or been offered longer term on his deal when he signed the new deal for Arsenal. But that hasn't exactly been the case. Apparently, Newcastle are to make a third bid for Crystal Palace and England centre-back Mark Guehi, people. Julian Alvarez has formally completed his move to Atletico Madrid for £82 million, which could rise with add-ons. Considering they signed him in January of 2022 for £40 million, that is quite the profit. And that one there kind of accelerated very quickly. Him and Pep were talking in the media, and now he's gone. And to be fair, he's learned from Pep Guardiola. He's won the World Cup, the Champions League. He's won 6 trophies, people. So he's kind of completed club and international football, and now you're playing for Atletico Madrid and probably getting regular football. And based on his playing style and what I know, it's not the same under Diego Simeone at Atletico, but you'd imagine it'd be a match made in heaven. So that's it, really. With that being said, let me know all your thoughts, people. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Join the movement. Can we get to 1,000 followers before the end of the year? On that note, peace.